So, Alex, we're back again.
So, Ben.
We are back
Yep.
again. What podcast number is this? I don't know, actually. I haven't bothered to look.
I don't know.
I need to look now.
Me neither.
So, yes, we're back. Welcome to On the Spotcast, which is our regular, and I actually mean regular this time, as I didn't do about 7 podcasts ago. It is our regular weekly podcast all about games and just general banter and chat, basically.
Yeah.
We're still in lockdown in the UK, although after this weekend, who knows what the hell's going to happen. So we'll wait and see.
Start some easing. It won't be like immediate and big, but it'll be a start.
So it probably will still be, like this for a little while longer. Yes, apologies for any poor audio quality. Alex is on my Bluetooth speaker going directly into the microphone, so yeah, we have to kind of record it in the best way we can. And this podcast is number 10.
Woo! Double figures.
I know, who would have thought it? But anyway, let's run the intro and then we'll get straight into what today's topic is. Wasn't that a fantastic intro?
It was beautiful.
It gets better.
It was spectacular.
It gets better.
It was amazing.
It gets better every time I watch it, to be honest.
How many times have you watched it?
Well, I think when I made it, I had to watch it quite a few times, and then after I made it, I had to watch it a couple of times to make sure there was no mistakes. And then
that makes sense.
And then every time I edit a podcast, I then have to watch it again. So quite a lot of times. Really, a lot of times I've heard that music across all the 3 different intros that this podcast and previous podcasts have had of ours. So yes, welcome back anyway to On the Spotcast. Today's topic of choice is all about spoilers, not just video game spoilers, but spoilers in general. Obviously, we've all seen the rather, what would you call it, media ruckus surrounding Naughty Dog and The Last of Us Part 2, and the spoilers that came from that, from a hack recently. Everyone thought it was from a disgruntled employee, but it was actually from online hackers that managed to get access. Over, I don't know, it was about a week and a bit ago, 2 weeks ago, and obviously there's been a huge amount of talk about that, so we're not going to generally talk about The Last of Us Part 2, and I'm just going to say now there aren't going to be any spoilers for any game in this, and if for some reason we do happen to spoil something, we will definitely say beforehand that there will be spoilers, so don't worry about Last of Us spoilers or anything else here, because I'm not going to talk about it. We're just going to be talking about spoilers in general, what we think of them, and funny ways that we've had things spoiled for us, and ways that we've, all that sort of thing, because I'm sure Alex and I both had examples of that in the past. Wouldn't you say so, Ward?
I've got a few. I usually do all I can, whether it's films or games. I do everything I can to avoid leaks, spoilers, etc. Because I get really pissy if someone spoils something really big for me.
Wow,
I said in the previous podcast about how much I loved the end reveal of Gears of War 4, and a big part of that is because I didn't know it was coming. And
of
so I was
course,
like, oh, whereas if someone had told me before, I'd be really, really angry. Like, so fucking angry if someone had spoiled that for me.
Fair enough. Well, tell you what, before we get into this, I was interested in this, and obviously in our modern times, we use the word spoiler as a way of, something that is a piece of information about something that is going to spoil it for someone else who hasn't seen it or played it yet.
Yeah.
But I was interested in where the origins of these things actually come from. So I had a quick look around, and this is just a bit of a history on the word spoiler. Now, according to Wikipedia, the term spoiler was introduced in the early days of the internet and came into prominence in newsgroup conversations. It's still common in internet articles and social media discussions. Early rules of netiquette insisted that spoilers could be and should be normally avoided, but the posting of spoiling information was unavoidable and preceded a warning such as "spoiler alert," or the spoiler itself has to be masked so it cannot be visible to any but those keen for details and not fazed at the thought of such potentially plot revealing information. So that's quite interesting, I thought. Bit of history there, Whenever I think spoilers, I just keep thinking back to Doctor Who from River Song, because she kept saying spoilers, didn't she, all the time? I'm pretty sure.
Trying to forget the whole Matt Smith era of Doctor Who happened because it was just garbage.
Let's not get into that discussion. We're talking about something else. So yes, video game spoilers. That's not the only topic, by the way, we're talking about today. On today's podcast, we're going to have the Plat Chat. Makes its another return. Obviously, we're going to be talking about spoilers. I haven't got any comments to read out, so if anyone wants to leave any comments for next time, then please do. It hasn't been very long since the podcast has been out, since we recorded this time. It's only been 3 days, so maybe that there could be more comments if we left gaps, but I just had to record it when I could. So yes, without further ado, video game, it's mainly going to be video game spoilers for us, but spoilers. So what is your opinion on spoilers, Alex?
People that do spoil things for other people, especially if they're really, really excited about it, are just assholes. I hate it. I hate it so much.
Yes, I understand that. Yes, feels like it's a call-in help show now. Like you're calling in for advice. Agony aunt. But yeah, it's funny that I agree. The video game people who spoil it are doing it because they feel the need to spoil it for someone else, because that gives them some sort of level of control and satisfaction above other people, I believe. It's all a control thing, is what I think it is. It's all they see themselves as a hero, really, don't they? They don't really see it as a bad thing. They think, oh, I will tell you this, and this will save you money, and this will stop you from being disappointed yourself, and if it's something sad, you won't be as sad now because you knew about it for months already. It's something like that. It's something I see a lot, because I've been spending a lot of my time arguing with people in Facebook comments about The Last of Us Part 2. So I've been doing a lot of that. I'm pissing a lot.
Some people are also just assholes. They just love ruining things for people.
Yeah, well, I think
also that aspect of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people hopping on that bandwagon of, trying to, we're not going to talk too much about it, but something I've seen a lot in the comments on Facebook is people saying, well, I'm just going to say what happens here because I feel the need to save you guys to spend £40 and you could just find out all now. And I was like, well, I'm still going to play it anyway. I'm still going to buy it. If I wanted to know the spoilers, which I guess I gave into temptation a little bit there, then people would, wouldn't they? They'd look it up. It's not hard to find. All you got to do is look it up. They're on a million different things. There's clips out there you can watch. I've seen it all, and there's still nothing that puts me off. But, does it make anything less sad? I don't know. I don't think, personally, in terms of things, people trying to avoid people being disappointed by something, I think having watched the clips on The Last of Us from something that would be extremely sad to play has not made me sad watching someone else play it. I don't think you get that level of emotion when you're watching someone else play something as when you're playing it. Because having watched what happens in those spoilers, you think, oh, this has got to be a really, really sad moment for people who have played the original and people who have done all this. But I don't feel any emotion about it. But then when I play it, I'm sure I will feel emotion about it, because it will be sad at that point, because I'll be immersed in the game at that point. But I think
you'll have the full full context when you actually play it yourself.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's part of the difference between knowing what happens and knowing how it happens and why it happens.
Exactly, that's the point, isn't it? Just a list online of some plot points and then 20 minutes of gameplay is not enough to judge a 30-40 hour story by any means. But that's about the last.
40 hours long.
Well,
it's 40 hours long.
It's going to be pretty long, I think.
Damn.
But anyway.
I'm not gonna buy this 40-hour game, which I've been excited about for years, because 20 minutes of it makes me mad, even though I don't.
I do see a lot of that. I've been waiting 7 years for this game, and then someone spoiled it for me, so I'm not going to bother giving it a chance. I'm just not going to play it. I don't know.
You're only depriving yourself in a way, because you sort of, like you say, you're so excited about it for years, and now you're not going to.
I know.
A bit of it's upset you. You're the only one losing out.
I feel like it's a lot of people seem to, and I'm not, I'm not defending Naughty Dog here and whatever their ethics or work ethics, I don't know. No one really knows, but I feel a lot of people are doing it because they feel that Naughty Dog are just going to go, all right, then we'll just not release it and completely make the game again. Which I don't think they're going to do now, because it's gone too far and it's been years in the making. They've done it all. They've got it ready for release. It's got a confirmed release now at the beginning of June, which isn't that long away, which is good. They're not going to suddenly turn around and go, well, all these people are really annoyed by what we've done, so should we just not do it? They can't do that now. They've got to do it. They've got to sell it. They've got to make money if they can. They've got to put the game out there now. It's not like they can just turn around and go, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Why not? No, it's not bother. That's just this 7 years of work everyone's been doing.
There's also a thing that, because ones that know me, including you, and granted most of the listeners know my whole thing about what happened with Justice League and the Snyder Cut and all of that. There's also a thing where even if you don't agree with the creator's vision, because a lot of people hated BVS and Snyder's sort of plans and the story he was doing, and even now we know the whole story. A lot of ones say, this, that. Even if you don't agree with a creator's vision, you have sort of a right to. They sort of have a right to sort of be able to show it to you, in a way, and standing by their vision instead of just cowering to the masses and people that don't like it.
Well, exactly.
That's how you mess things up. Because look at because also a lot of people hated The Last Jedi, and then there was a lot of reshoots and rewrites and God knows what with The Rise of Skywalker, and a lot of people hated that because it either ignored The Last Jedi, or to people that spent half the film retconning The Last Jedi and all that. It's just all that sort of thing about creators having the right to make their visions, create their visions, stand by their visions, show their visions to the world. There's that whole sort of aspect to it.
Yes, and whatever, I don't know about political agendas that people keep saying they're in there or not, I don't really care. I don't really care who you play as, what they are, if they're gay, lesbian, if they identify as a sheep, I'm not bothered. A sheep would be interesting though, mind you. That would be interesting. You could call it the bar. Sorry, I just thought of a stupid joke.
For some people, all a game needs to be like SJW propaganda is have a female protagonist.
Yeah. Well,
to me, I don't care what.
Well, a lot of people are saying it's because a lot of people are like, oh, it's got lesbians in it, but then the first Last of Us game in the DLC Left Behind, Ellie is literally confirmed as a lesbian. It's literally there.
How many people played the main game compared to the ones that played the DLC? That's the thing. There's always less people playing the DLC than there is to play the main game.
True, but it's there. That's what I'm saying. It's there. So it's not like it hasn't been.
Does the base game actually state what gender, what Ellie's into? Do they ever actually come? Is there actually reference whether she's straight, gay, whatever?
There is one part when she reads gay porn magazines. Does that count? I don't know, but it's gay men's magazines. There's a part when you go to see an old friend of Joel's. Well, I say friend, and he's like a hoarder. He lives in this town on his own. He's set traps up all over the place, and he's trying to survive. And Ellie nicks a bunch of magazines from him, So when you
Is that
leave,
the bit when they're in like the truck and she's like reading
she's
it?
in the
I've
in
seen
the in
that
the
too.
car, yeah, and she's reading it, and then she asks why all
Yeah,
the
I've seen that
pages
bit.
are stuck together and that. So that's meant to be gay porn. So, but I mean, I don't know. They never lean one way or the other. But then obviously in Left Behind, they her and oh god, what's her name? Oh my god, I can't feel. I've forgotten her name now. What's her name? Her and I don't want to refer to her as anything else. Her and the other girl, if she is a girl, will they kiss. What's her name? It's really going to bug me now. Christ, I can't believe I've forgotten it. Why is it? What is her name? Jesus.
I wish I could help, but I can't.
I mean, we were literally talking about it in our chat like yesterday. Oh, what's her name?
Right. Crap.
Oh, Riley. Yeah, Riley.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, what you did know. You did know. You could have helped.
I just know the name. I don't know who the fuck the character is.
Yes. So yeah, in that one they clearly they kiss, but obviously a lot of shit goes wrong after that point because a lot of undead things come along and they spoil the party. But then again, 7 years ago when they released a trailer for The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie kisses that girl in the trailer, so there's not like this is something new.
Yeah, they're like a dance and that.
Yeah. So I mean, anyway,
It's 7 years ago.
yeah, it's seven.
It
It's
was
7.
years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's 7 years since they announced it.
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah, oh, they're gonna totally throw away like almost a decade's worth of work just to please you. Fuck off.
Yeah, but they've been working on it since the first Last of Us came out, which is 2013.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think they announced it in 2015 or whatever it was, but yeah, it's still been a long time. But anyway, we're going to stop talking about The Last of Us because we're going to be talking about spoilers. But that was just a general chat of.
It's impressive that we managed to talk about Last of Us spoilers for almost 20 minutes without actually saying any other spoilers.
No, well, we're not talking about the spoilers as such. It's not. This isn't our opinion on whether people are right or wrong or whatever's going on with the game is right or wrong. It's just more our opinion on whether spoilers are a good thing or not. Not necessarily whether the game is going to be good or bad or whatever's in it. For people that are listening and getting angry. So yeah, spoilers. So I guess it was hard to avoid the spoilers of The Last of Us because they were all in the comments. Everything you went, even in videos they've got to a point where it's gotten so big now that even in videos that are completely unrelated to The Last of Us, say Assassin's Creed Valhalla, have Last of Us spoilers in the comments.
I read the comments though. There's several. Are you on about like the trailer?
I'm on about anything. Not just necessarily specific videos, but
I've never come across any Last of Us spoilers in any comment sections of any videos. I'm just lucky.
I have seen some, but obviously you can take into consideration that once the creator of the video, say, myself, for example, can remove the comments, so they could have been removed by the time you got around to seeing it. So, or you can, in some sense, you can actually go onto your YouTube settings and you can actually enter keywords for the comments that you want to be automatically banned. So you could type The Last of Us in there, and any comments that the people leave with The Last of Us in it would immediately disappear from the channel without you doing anything. So it can be a good control method as well, but it's hard, But yeah, so I read that, then I decided that, well, if you're gonna accidentally trip in the rabbit hole, you might as well go all the way down and kill the bunnies inside. So I did, and I found out all the stuff, read all about it, heard all about it, watched it, everything, and yeah, my opinion still stands the same as it was before. But I'm interested to know, Alex, and we'll get onto this now. What is the worst way you've had a game spoiled for you?
Well, like I said, I do all I can to avoid spoilers.
Yes.
And I very, very, very rarely get anything spoiled for me. Only two sort of things come to mind, and they're both fault of the actual publishers and the developers themselves. One is I'm gonna vaguely reference what they are when I say about the game and that, just enough for the ones that know about it to be like, oh, and and just I said enough for people who know what it is to be like, oh, that. Also vague enough for ones who don't know to not be spoiled. The first is Jedi Fallen Order. The final sequence.
Okay.
And as soon as I say final sequence, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The end of like the TV spots for it actually show the fucking character that appears in the final sequence.
Is that?
And I think there was even like a few YouTube videos about it saying, it was this big like oh my god moment, and the EA just started throwing it in like trailers and TV spots and that. And I'm like, why? Because it's still amazing. Like the appearance is still amazing.
Oh, yeah.
The sequence is still the best use of that character I've seen in gaming. But come on.
I mean,
that's just so dumb.
I don't know if I class it as a spoiler or that's teaser. I don't know, because I feel like it is. Technically, it is a spoiler.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not as earth-shattering as a revelation of a story as something else could be, because you might fully well. I mean, I was fully well expecting that character to come back at some point. Obviously, it's a Star Wars game set in that time, so
True.
I was expecting
still,
it. And the whole deal with the Inquisitors.
And the other is Assassin's Creed Odyssey, where the Deimos reveal.
Oh, right.
And if they hadn't done the character selection, that would have been a pretty good twist / reveal. But since it was the character selection, since they did the choice between Cassandra and Alexios, that completely killed the twist / reveal. Because as soon as they appear, you're like, oh, it's
In all honesty, and I'm not just.
Person is this.
In all honesty, I'm not just saying this just to sound smart or something, but in all honesty, when I played Odyssey, I picked Cassandra. I picked Cassandra every time. I wouldn't pick Alexios because it'd be stupid. Because he can't act in a good. He can't act. He can only say tough things as a bad guy. He has no voice acting capabilities to say nice things and be an actual emotional character. There's no range. I've seen shotguns with more range. But yes.
That's a good analogy.
Thank you.
That is a really good analogy or metaphor.
But anyway, when I was playing Odyssey for the first time, when you get to that bit when you're going to spy on the secret meeting, I fully expected it to be who it was going to be. I had an inkling in the back of my mind that I knew they were going to twist it around like this, and it was definitely going to be the opposite of what you choose, if that makes sense, without spoiling anything. I just had a feeling in the back of my mind that as soon as they were going to do it, I just thought, yeah, it's definitely going to be that person. It's going to be that person. There's no way that person died originally. There's no burst way. It's definitely going to be that person. and then it was. So yeah, I think for me, but like you say, I always remember you saying something. I remember, and this I don't know what game this is from, so we're going to have to tread carefully here. But back when we were at sixth form, didn't someone else spoil a game ending for you? Oh, they spoiled Assassin's Creed 3, didn't they? Someone told you what happened at the end of Assassin's Creed 3.
I totally forgot about that, yeah.
One of our school brethren.
Yeah. I totally forgot that. I remember I once spoiled... I was a dick once. I once spoiled a lot of Assassin's Creed 3 for a guy because this guy annoyed me so bloody much. But yeah, I totally forgot that I had the ending of Assassin's Creed 3 spoiled.
No, because when I gave these topics to you earlier, I thought that's definitely the one Alex is going to say is his worst, because I remember him being really annoyed about it at the time.
I totally forgot about that.
Oh, for crying out loud. I remember you being really annoyed about it. I remember your reaction as he told you. I mean, I'd already played it at that point, so I knew what happened, so it wasn't a thing for me, but I remember your reaction of being very annoyed at the time, so that's why I thought, no, he's definitely going to say that one.
I totally forgot.
Yes, so yes, I'll tell the story about that one then. So we were at sixth form. This is when we were 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And one of our school brethren decided to tell Alex exactly what happens at the end of Assassin's Creed 3's modern day storyline, and completely spoiled it for him. A game that we'd been talking about, me and Alex personally, for a long while. That I said I wouldn't spoil for him, and I hadn't never spoiled. I see that I was a good friend. I didn't spoil it.
Yeah.
I was honourable. But someone else who maybe isn't such a close friend of yours, maybe even more so now, spoiled it for you. But that was I'm surprised you didn't pick that, because I honestly thought that was the one you were going to come out with. And I'm thinking.
I totally forgot about that.
Fair enough. So I'm trying to think of spoilers for me now. And you know what? And I really don't want to say this, but I can't generally think of anything that I've had really spoiled. I mean, The Last of Us Part 2 spoilers, without trying to sound, I mean, they don't. I expected some of these things to happen. I think that's why it's not spoiled for me in such a way, because I expected some of these things to happen. One of the main things that happened I knew was going to happen, because there's no way they were going to make a sequel without doing it. It had to happen in a way. But, I mean, I'm looking at the games now on my shelf. Anything that's spoiled for me here? Not really. Oh, God. I don't know. I mean... Alright, I'm gonna pick one. I'm gonna pick Days Gone. Okay? In Days Gone, and I'm going to spoil it slightly here, so if you don't want to listen to this part, skip ahead by about 5 minutes, okay?
Are you on about the ending sort of reveal bit?
I'm on about a lot of it, so just skip this 5 minutes chunk, okay? I'm not going to be talking about it for 5 minutes, but...
You know about, like, the ending, so... What, are you now going full spoiler?
Not necessarily... Okay, what... Actually, no, you know what? I'm not going to spoil it. I'm going to do it in such a way that doesn't spoil it, okay?
Okay.
This, because what I'm going to talk about happens at the very beginning of the game, so it's not technically, you can't really, you know. So for those of you who skipped, unfortunately you're going to miss this, but for those of you who stayed around, you're still here. Great. So Days Gone is... Well, we're not going to talk about what day. If you really want to know what Days Gone's about, it's a post-apocalyptic sort of zombie survival game. Opens, you know, got some really great innovative gameplay mechanics and styles in it, and all that kind of stuff. We're not going to talk about Days Gone that much, but crucially, your main character, Deacon St. John, played by Sam Witwer, who also played Starkiller and who plays Darth Maul in
in Clone Wars and Rebels and Battlefront 2.
Very well known person, great actor, great voice actor. He portrays Deacon St. John, and at the beginning of the game, you're escaping from, you know, what is deemed to be the zombies. You're on a roof with your best mate Boozer from your motorcycle gang and your girlfriend Sarah. Or I say girlfriend, I mean wife actually, they're married, sorry. Wife, Sarah, and she's injured. That happens right at the very beginning of the game, so it's not a spoiler. She gets put on a helicopter and gets sent off with a government agency called Nero. And you stay with your best mate Boozer, who is also injured, so you can help him get out of the town. Then the game fast forwards, I don't know how long, a few years fast forwards, I think it's about 3 years, to when the zombie apocalypse has calmed down slightly, but now it's about people just trying to live in their separate camps and make the most of the world that still lives, and the whole sort of big eruption of it has calmed down a little. And
it'll be like post-coronavirus lockdown.
The general idea and what it begins with from the beginning of the game is that Sarah is dead. Okay, we know this because Deacon tracked her helicopter to a Nero camp where they were keeping survivors, and there was a helicopter crash, and all that camp got overrun by a horde of zombies. So she's presumed dead. But throughout the game, you're trying to trace what happened to her, and you do all these different missions with different people, and you're trying to pick up and put together the story of what happened on that night after you put her on the chopper and then you left, and you know, so you're trying to piece this all together. And I like a good romance story as much as the next guy, and it kind of made me think about my own long distance relationship, except I didn't put Isabel on a helicopter with zombie apocalypse. But it made me want to know is she alive? So I looked it up. And I'm not going to say what happens if she is or she isn't, but I was so invested in the emotional story of it that I spoiled it for myself by going on Wikipedia and looking up whether or not Sarah was still alive or not. And yeah, I'm not going to say whether she is or she isn't, but I got the answers I was looking for, and then I played the game as normal. Does that count? That's not spoiling anything, is it? That's not, that's, I've kept that spoiler free, I think.
That actually reminds me of something I did, which it's so fucking stupid of me. I actually looked up Arkham City's ending. I have no idea why. I just looked up Arkham City's ending.
Interesting.
I have no idea why I did that, but I did, and I've never done it since.
You were intrigued. You were intrigued to see what happened. Well, fair enough. But I think that's probably it then for our topic of video game spoilers. I think we've scraped the bottom of the barrel now. So yeah, spoilers. Not a good thing. Don't do it. Anyone that puts any Last of Us spoilers in the comments here is going to get perma-banned from the channel immediately. So, one, you're not spoiling it for me because I know what happens. You're just going to be spoiling it for someone else, so I'm going to remove the comments before they even see them because I see all the comments immediately as they come through. So, yeah, that's more just a general warning. But yeah, we're going to get on to our next topic, which is the Plat Chat, which may or may not have an intro now. So wasn't that a great intro?
I don't know. I've never seen the Plat. Have I seen the Plat Chat intro before?
No, I haven't either because it doesn't exist. I doubt it exists now either. I don't think it's ever.
I guess it was amazing. I don't know.
I don't think it's ever going to have one. I think it's just going to become a running joke of just not intros, to be honest, much like it used to be. But there you go. So the Plat Chat is all about platinum trophies, achievements, and the like, and we talk about our latest platinums, trophies, the games we've been playing generally, and just a little bit of gaming and trophy chat. So I'll begin. This time, last podcast, I had finished Platinum Days Gone, and I was currently working on the LA Noire Platinum. Since then, I got the LA Noire Platinum a couple days after we finished that podcast. It was a bit of a slog with all the collectibles towards the end. Christ. Especially finding all the cars. Christ, that was annoying. And then I decided...
Because they all look... You said they all, like, 90% of the cars look exactly the same.
Well, they do. And a lot of them are variants of the same model, but have different features, like, it's got a convertible roof, or it's got this. So from when you're driving past things, it looks very, very similar. But eventually I was able to find them all. But it did take me a while, and it was the last... Actually, no, it wasn't the last trophy I had to do. The last trophy I had to do was also a slog. It was for getting $47,000 worth of accident damage, or... in a case, because when you do a case, you get rewarded for getting questions right, things like that, but you can also get penalised for causing damage to the city, to your car, or to civilians. And you had to get $47,000 worth of these penalties, which is obviously a game set in 1940s, which would be an extremely huge amount of money back then, which involved me starting a case, going immediately to the most expensive car on the map and repeatedly bashing it into a wall until it's set on fire, then picking the car up again and doing that 10 times. And then finishing the case, and I had £100,000 worth of damage, and then $100,000 worth. And yeah, then I got the platinum. So then I moved on, and I thought, I'm going to do Return to Arkham, because it's just one of them ones that I just have had sitting on the trophy waiting shelf for a while now, and I just need to clean them up and get them done and out the way, So I did that. I started with, and we're not going to get into this because Alex is getting, you can hear it, listeners, Alex is getting, he's getting tense. He's getting angry. I don't know what that noise is meant to be. Sound like you just like shove something up your nose or something. I don't know what that was going to be. But yeah, so I started off with Arkham Asylum. I had to 100% the game, so do everything, and then do all the challenge maps. However, I originally did all the 100% stuff, bar a couple things, back in the day when I first played Return to Arkham, and that was on a different PlayStation, so I lost that data, which means I had to do every single bit of Riddler stuff all over again, which wasn't the end of the world, but was tedious nonetheless, because there's only so much trophy collecting and riddle solving you can do before you start to get a bit fed up with it. And that's definitely the case for Arkham City as well. So yeah, I did that, and I platinumed Arkham Asylum eventually after doing all the challenge maps. Some real tricky ones in the Arkham Asylum one.
Yeah.
They're mainly...
I've used YouTube walkthroughs for Arkham Asylum, especially the extreme ones where they like mine all the gargoyles.
Yeah, I didn't actually. I'm quite proud to know that I didn't actually do that, but I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I just didn't. I guess I just found ways to do it. But yeah. So I got the platinum for Arkham Asylum, and now I'm working on the platinum, as you may have guessed, for Arkham City. So far, since I started playing it, I had to, once again, as it was an old save on an old PlayStation, so I had to go back through and redo everything again. So I've done all the side missions, all of Riddler's stuff. I worked my way through all of Harley Quinn's Revenge. I've done all of Catwoman's DLC, including her story stuff, and I've done all the ranked maps and campaign maps. Now I'm doing all of Robin's ranked and campaign medals, and then I'll do Nightwing's, and then I'll go on to then I'll go on to New Game Plus. And then, actually no, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do Batman's challenge maps first, actually. Then I'll do New Games Plus. Then I will get the one for doing... Then I'll get... Actually, no, I'm going to leave that till last. I'm going to do Perfect Free Flow. For some reason, I've managed to avoid that one. Probably just because I was rushing it before. And then, yes, I will leave Storyteller, the one for having 12 dates with Calendar Man, till the very end, which I'm concerned about, actually, because if the date on my PlayStation is set to other dates, will my trophy data be incorrect? Because for that one, for that trophy, if you don't know, listeners, it involves you visiting Calendar Man on specific dates throughout the real world year, in which, like, Mother's Day, Valentine's Day, that sort of thing, those kind of holiday days across the year. And the best way to do this is not to wait all year to do it, but to go into your PlayStation or Xbox settings and change the date physically on your PlayStation or Xbox, and then go into the game, and the game will recognise it as being that day. But what
I think you have to disconnect to Xbox Live or PSN though, because otherwise it automatically puts the clock back to what it's supposed to.
I don't know, not on PlayStation. I don't think you can have it connected to PSN, but you choose whether or not the internet decides the time or not. Kind of like a phone or something.
That might be just an Xbox thing.
Maybe, I don't know. I haven't really looked too into it, to be honest. But that is the way you do it. But the thing that concerns me is, like I say, if I say the second to last trophy, so I get all the challenge maps, is on the 10th of May, tomorrow. So I do it tomorrow. And then I do the Calendar Man trophy, and the trophy finishes on December of 2020. So all of a sudden it's going to say that I have a trophy that's in the future, dated in the future. Then when I switch my clock back to what it should be, it's going to be a future trophy that I haven't got yet in a time that doesn't exist yet. See, now that's going to be weird, isn't it? So I'm wondering whether or not I should leave that one till last. Perhaps I should do that one before last so it doesn't fuck up my platinum.
Well, on the 360 version, I did what you did. Before Return to Arkham, when I first played Return to Arkham City, it was like, I think I started it on New Year's Day, or near New Year's Day.
Yeah.
So I straight away had one there, and then I put down notifications on my phone calendar for every day that you need to visit him.
Did you do it for the whole
So
year?
I actually did it how you're supposed to.
Oh, for the love of God!
For that.
And
because of course throughout the year I'd also be like going back to do New Game Plus and the challenge maps and whatnot.
Oh.
So
I mean, I've just been
I've just
been creaming them out pretty much over a. I've just been creaming out the challenge maps really and just getting them done. Yeah. All right. In terms of the Arkham City challenge maps, the combat ones are all easy, but the Predator ones is where you can have some slip-ups. Because as long as you're reasonably competent at the combat, which I say I'm better than competent, as long as you keep a combo, you don't get hit, and you do whatever the equivalent of a bat swarm or whip attack or whatever it is to generate points every time you get to that point on all the enemies, you're fine. You'll get easily over what you should get. But then some of the Predator maps, exactly. But
the combat ones,
you
could just get by just by punching and countering.
Yeah, as long as you maintain a combo and try not try. I mean, even if you lose a combo a couple of times or you get hit once or twice, you can still generally hit the medals if you want. It's
losing a combo isn't losing the combo is not that big a problem. But if you don't get hit, you get a giant. You
get the 5,000 point boost.
At the end, you get 5,000 at the end of it.
And
it's the thing worth keeping in mind.
And there was also things like how you end a specific round as well, because there's obviously more. If you do it by just punching someone, it's 25. If you do it by special takedown, it's 50. If you do it by ground pound, it's times 75. But the most point.
If you do it blade dodge takedowns plus 100.
Yeah, it's 100
even.
But obviously that's not always and you can do it at the end. So I always try to ground pound if I can.
I always go for triple stun and ground pound.
Yeah. Oh, with Catwoman, I was just using the whip and just dragging them onto the ground and ground pounding.
Yeah.
But Robin. I do not like playing as Robin.
Why?
He is so slow. I mean,
which I quite like because it makes him feel different, and plus he's got that big staff. So
it really annoys me. Well, first you play as Batman.
He's faster in Arkham Knight. Be grateful for that. He's faster in Arkham Knight.
First, when you play as Batman, he is fast, but not extremely fast, and he is completely balanced all the way around. He can do everything equally. You play as Catwoman. She is not as strong, but she is a lot more quick, and her Predator stuff is a lot harder because she can't. Because she has less gadgets and everything else.
Having Catwoman Predator in Arkham City and Arkham Knight is just not fun.
But still
you
possible.
have so few options and you're so weak.
But Robin, he is strong. He's very strong, but very slow. And the way he moves about and the amount of time he takes to do a beatdown is stupid. Literally, when you do a beatdown and other people are coming at you, so you keep stopping, counter, carry on the beatdown, counter, carry on. I'm getting basically one hit on the beatdown at a time before I'm having to counter someone, so I'm just going punch, counter, punch, counter, punch, counter. And I basically after 10, maybe 20 odd counters, I've actually taken down everyone else in the arena by just countering them before I've actually managed to finish the beatdown. And, it's just... he's just very slow. I haven't done any Predator as him yet, but I'm presuming it'll be better because he has a lot of Batman's gadgets and has a grapnel gun. And doesn't. I mean, some of Catwoman's stuff is more just because she's weaker and she has a lack of gadgets, and especially trying to whip up to things and actually finding a place where it'll allow you to whip up to things is a bastard of a thing. I mean, the ones I was struggling on last night was the last of the campaign things as Catwoman, which is doing police brutality, which is the one set in GCPD when you have to do the whole thing on. This is extreme, by the way, without taking any bullet damage, which is really hard because immediately from the off, you have to pick. There's modifiers as well, so I had it on a timer. I had mines everywhere. I managed to do it in about 4 minutes. I managed to clear the room, but even still, things like that. And Top of the World can go in the bin.
Oh god, that is anyone other than Batman. I'd say so with Robin and Nightwing, but that would Catwoman.
I watched someone do Top of the World Extreme in a minute and a half on YouTube yesterday.
Yeah. Was it Batman Arkham Videos or was it someone else?
I don't know who it was. I can't remember. I think it was just someone else. But
Yeah.
literally, he just walked in, went bang bang, did this, chuck those there, chuck those caltrops, silent takedown there, whip this person, done. I'm like, when I did it,
That's just my luck.
When I did it, it took me 20 minutes. Literally, I had like 20-minute timers on some of these extreme Predator maps because I was taking my time as Catwoman to make sure I didn't fuck it up. You know, especially when you're doing the campaign ones and you have to do 3 maps in succession without using any or the free retries, and you got to the last map and you're like, well, I don't want to do everything again. And I did that twice last night. I failed the last campaign one, so I had to do them 3 campaign maps like 3 times over just to get to the end. Because I kept messing up on the last one.
You get unlimited retries with the first one.
Yeah, I know that one. But yeah, well, it's just when you get to the... And the third one was... what's it? End of the Line? When it's set in the train station. And it's the one when... It's the one when you've got to do a great takedown. You have 2 snipers on the map and you've got to do a double-edge takedown. But what I did is I used the fact one of the modifiers gives you the free medal and I skipped the double-edge takedown.
Yeah, that free medal's a lifesaver with many of them.
So I had...
some ones with Nightwing are bullshit as well, because there's things like you have to get 3 headshot takedowns with his dart launcher, but he aims like he's drunk, so it's the least stable thing you've ever... Imagine trying to get a perfect long-range headshot in a Call of Duty game but with a sniper, but you're not allowed to hold your breath. It's like that, and you have to get 3 perfect headshot takedowns with it, but he only gets 3 darts a thing, so if you get 2 of them and you screw up the third, you have to restart.
Christ.
And there's also things where you have to like do a line launcher, kick one guy, line launch again, kick a second guy, and then line launch again and kick a third guy. And that's just some really, really just cancerous bullshit that they've thrown with Nightwing challenge maps. And that's not even taking into account, like you said, when you do the campaign, so you have to do the modifiers and all this stuff. It's just not fun. It takes a lot to make Arkham gameplay not fun. But with some of the Nightwing and Catwoman Predator stuff, they manage it.
Yeah,
really
well, I try to tactically pick my modifiers. Like I would rather, for example, so I'd rather have the option of having no counterattack signs than having mines everywhere, or I'd rather have. I'm pretty sure I pick most of the negative ones for combat, and I'll leave most of the positive ones for the Predator.
Yeah.
Like
that's what I do.
Yeah, like,
or if there's like a Predator one that's really... It's all Predator, but there's one that's actually really easy. You can just throw a bunch of the stuff on there.
Yeah.
Or if it's one you're really good at.
I did that last night. There's the one, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the one where it's the extreme one, but it's set in the museum.
Yeah, I know it, yeah.
And that one, I find it pretty easy on extreme. There's a pretty, there's a really easy way of doing it. It's one you get for doing a wall takedown, so taking it through a weak wooden wall. You get it for whipping a gun out of an enemy's hand and then pouncing on someone and taking them down, which is those are all easy things. So I stick a timer on it. I stick mines everywhere. I plant mines on the gargoyles as well, because I find it easier of Catwoman just to sneak around than I do to actually swing everywhere.
Did you know with Catwoman you can actually run, like sprint, but enemies won't hear you because she's so light?
Yeah, I know you can sort of run like that, but what I did is I because I don't know if you remember, but in that map you've got that little hole in the floor where you can go up and there's 2 false walls.
Yeah.
Near the bridge is in the main room. And you can go up there, you can break through the wall, take down the guy, then you can just hang off the ledge on the hole, and enemies will run at you, and one at a time you can just ledge take down them after another. I did 6 ledge takedowns in a row last night. They just run at you, and they don't, and because it's not a proper ledge, they don't look down at the ledge because you don't hang off the end of it. Because normally if it's a ledge like a balcony, the enemy stays there, so they go, oh, you shouldn't hang here because the enemies will check this area. But as it's not a proper ledge, they don't bother, so they just run at you one after the other. They don't see you doing this, even if they're directly behind one another. They just drag one off, drag another one off, drag another one off, and there's a pile of bodies on the floor beneath you. And you just leave, I'll have 2 left, one to do what I need to do, and one to do the other thing. And that was it. I had it done in a minute and a half. But there's obviously there's maps like that where you can cheat it, but things like Top of the World can, yeah. Especially on Top of the World, we're like, oh, Top of the World Extreme. But just leave the Jammer Pack guy till last, yeah?
Yeah.
On the map where you desperately need him more than anything else. But I have come up with a good method of doing Top of the World.
The thing with Top of the World Extreme, well, the thing with Top of the World in general, for ones that haven't played the Arkham games or don't know, unlike all the other Arkham, like, because one of the main sort of cornerstones of Arkham stealth is that you can use like gargoyles
To get up above.
which are and like high up in the
Shadows.
in the areas that you can swing from, and it gives you like a good overview of the map and provides you with, of course, a height advantage, and enemies can't see you so easily. On Top of the World, it's on top of this gigantic like tower thing, and the gargoyles are around the outside, and the only way you can see inside is either through the very frosted windows,
Yeah.
so you can't see through that clearly, or if you go inside. But if you go inside, 9 times out of 10 you'll get shotgunned. And what jammer enemies do is they jam your detective or thief, if your Catwoman vision, which is the thing that lets you see enemies through walls and stuff.
Yeah.
So on a map where you need to be able to see through walls more than any other, you can't, because if you're going for all the medals, because the one guy stopping you from doing that, you have to take out last.
I came up with a good method of doing Top of the World that I thought. I don't bother to use the gargoyles. What I do though, I shimmy around the edge of the map, because you can shimmy all the way around the balconies and from
that a lot, yeah.
So you can do that, and it gives you a good view, and you can also repeatedly ledge take down enemies, and then shimmy just far enough along that they won't see you, and then you can get 3 ledge takedowns on one of them balconies. You can get one either side and then one in the middle to just top it off. So you can equally space out your ledge takedowns if you're good about it. But yeah, otherwise than that, I use the vents, so I go underneath the vents in some of the top floors, and I tend to get up to the top floor, have a peek around quickly, then just try to get my bearings. But yeah, it can be ledge takedowns are the way to go with that. I think using the gargoyles without detective vision or whatever you want to call it it's just not really going to happen, and it's useless, isn't it? Because you can't do anything from there. You can't invert take down anyone. You can't really do anything. And tell you what, I have done this. I don't know if you ever did this, but getting off the gargoyles and onto the balconies is hard enough on its own. When you're Batman or you've got a cape, you can glide there. When you're Catwoman, you have to jump. And I've had it happen where I've jumped at the balcony, I've hit Wonder Tower, she's backflipped off Wonder Tower and then plummeted to her death. She's trying to jump and aim the jump where she's going to actually land on the balcony and not hit something else or bounce off something. It's impossible. That's half the challenge, is just getting off it.
And also saving yourself from falling as Catwoman is a lot harder than the others. They just grapple gun, whereas her you have to get at the perfect angle and then you have to do the
I've only managed it once to save her from falling off the tower there. The other times I just fell. I've had it where I've had like one enemy left and I've gone up onto the gargoyles for some reason because I feel like I wanted to survey it a little bit or whatever, and I've then tried to leap off. She's hit the edge of Wonder Tower, gripped onto it for a second like she does, then backflipped off and just plummeted straight down back into the Arkham City. And then that's it. And then Riddler comes on and gloats, and you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, if you it's just annoying. And last night I was doing Top of the World and I had the last guy left, the jammer guy, took a hostage.
Yeah.
Now that's fine because for Top of the World Extreme you have to get a reverse ledge takedown and you have to leave the jammer guy till last. So you can do both of those at the same time if you get him under a ledge. And if he takes a hostage, he immediately goes under a ledge all the time permanently. So it's a really easy way to get him.
I think there's also a grate nearby. So if you've done the ledge takedown, you can use the grate to get closer and stuff as well.
Yeah, and you can get above him really easy. It's fine. But what I did is I was on a gargoyle at the time and he took the hostage and he was the last guy left. So I thought, okay, I'm going to have to get off the balcony. I'm going to have to get off the gargoyles and onto the balcony, okay? So I jump, I swing around the edges a bit, thinking, alright, I'll go through this balcony. I'm trying to figure out where the easiest way to get up on the top floor is without being seen. But it's hard to, because I can't see where he is, because I don't have detective vision. So I jump onto the balcony, And the balcony I happen to choose out of all 6 of them is the one where he's standing with the hostage. So I actually make the jump this time. I land on the balcony perfectly, but he's standing right there, sees me, then guns the hostage down. So that was good.
As soon as you started, like saying,
honestly, I was like to myself, all right, as long as I don't pick the balcony where he is, it's fine. It's going to be fine. I can do this. And I just happened, out of all those balconies, to absolutely pick the one where he saw me the most. And it was too late because you can't do anything.
That's sod's law.
I know. I've had it happen before with mines on some of those maps as well, where I have one enemy left and I'm sneaking to him and I'm focusing so much on him not seeing me that I've then ran into a mine and then blown up and died anyway. So the mines can be a real killer in those challenge maps as well, because they often are placed very conveniently at the specific route you would like to take to avoid detection. So yeah, it can be some general problems. But, what have you been doing anyway recently with your gaming?
Just Assassin's Creed Odyssey, just playing, just 100% Odyssey again.
Again?
That's really all there is to it. Odyssey.
Oh, any particular reason why you decided to do it again?
Usually, like with all open worlds games, I like having a save that's, just 100% complete, so you can just, muck around in the world and that.
Yeah.
And I'd yet to do that. I had that briefly for Odyssey, but I wanted to do a run as Alexios. Well, not all the missions and all that, just like the main story stuff.
Yeah.
Just see, what it was like in that. So I did that, and I'm going through again as Cassandra, and this will hopefully be my proper, 100% everything save, basically.
I have one of those sort of things on The Witcher. I don't. You sigh at me for bringing The Witcher into it. I heard it. I heard it on your voice. I heard he's bringing up Witcher again. I'll put Witcher into every video I make if I wish. They're my channel. If you don't like it, go away. Witcher. I will call it On the Witchcast. That'd be a good name if it were a Witcher podcast, wouldn't it? What would be a good name for a Witcher podcast?
Oh, no.
We could start it, couldn't we? We could start a Witcher podcast.
Well, you do that.
On my own?
No, nothing to do.
You'd still listen though, right?
Maybe.
Well, that's not very nice, is it? But yeah, I have 100% save on The Witcher, and I had a bunch of other saves where I just I don't know. I guess they're obviously in a game like that, and I guess in a similar way to Odyssey, there's a lot more dialogue and different storylines you can go down, I guess. The first time I played through The Witcher, I didn't do everything, I just sort of played to the end. And then...
Yeah. Well, Odyssey's got 10 different endings.
Yeah.
And there's also specific, bits of armor and weapons and stuff that you only get for doing certain choices as well.
There is 3 different endings to The Witcher, but then there's a bunch of sort of sub-endings where you sort of... post-credits, you see what happens to each of the different, say, maybe factions that you are with at these times and how your choices impacted what happens. So, for example, at the end of The Witcher, and this is, I guess it is spoilers, really, but here is your warning. It's not really. You get 3 different choices. In one of them, Ciri can maybe die, who knows. In one of them, she can become a Witcher, or one of them, she can become... the Empress of Nilfgaard. Now, the best ending, if you really want it, is the one where she becomes a Witcher and she's happy forever after with Geralt and everyone else, like it should have been all the time. But the first time I played it, I got the bad ending because I didn't really know about it at that time. And I also skipped all the side mission stuff, and all the side mission stuff, even though it's all side mission stuff, all contributes to getting the best ending. So a lot of the stuff you do in making certain choices throughout the story very early on and throughout the middle and everything else all add up to not only getting one of the 3 main endings, but all the different factions, like what happens to the world after the story, what happens to this character, what empire is in charge, what happens to these people, those children, all those sort of things. It all hinges upon the decisions you make. So I played the game through multiple times, much like you're doing with Odyssey. to try and get all these different endings. Oh, excuse me, I have wind. I must sip my Coke. Delicious. But yes, anything to add?
No, I have nothing to add at all.
No? Okay then. Well, I think that's probably it then for this week's podcast. We're coming up to the hour, so yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's it really.
What's coming up on the channel?
Nothing at the moment.
Other than this podcast.
Nothing. I probably will attempt to make something else and upload something else before the podcast, so it's not just 3 podcasts in a row on the channel. Also, I'm one away from hitting 140 subscribers now, so thank you for that as well. They keep seeming to grow for some reason. Maybe you guys like this. Who knows? I don't know why you would, but apparently you do. So yeah, thank you for that. But yeah, I'll probably try and endeavour to make some sort of content before I release a podcast, but I just don't know what it's going to be yet. I don't want to make it just for the hell of making it. I want to make something that I generally want to make. I did think about making a video about The Last of Us and my opinion on the spoilers, but I thought, well, perhaps that could either kill me or you know, really annoy people. So I didn't want to get too opinionated on that, because I would have gone into it properly about what I think about the spoilers and the story and everything. But I'm not going to do that because it just seems like a rabbit hole that I just don't want to dive down, to be honest. So yeah, I don't know what's going to come up on the channel, but something will.
Something. Hopefully.
I mean, there's nothing going on. It's not like I can vlog a day out somewhere, is it? Oh, on today's vlog, I'm gonna wash my hands. Great. Earlier I had.
Wash your hands, kids. Save the NHS. Protect the NHS.
Yeah. Today, on today's vlog, I'm gonna sit in this chair for 12 hours, and then I'm gonna have a shit and wash my hands, and then I'll probably eat some chocolate or something. Sounds good. It's not really, you know, it's not like I can go out. Well, I can go out, I suppose, if I really wanted to, but it's not really like, you know, what am I going to do? There's nothing.
Who knows?
There's nothing to film at the moment. There's not really anything going on. I did think about doing a video where I went through all of my platinums and talked about, you know, about each one in particular, about like what I thought of how hard it was, or etc. etc. Whether that'd be interesting. I don't know if that'd be interesting or not, but there is 40 of them at the moment to go through, so that would take a long while. Maybe I could do it in parts. 40 videos. I could do 40 videos, couldn't I? Oh, imagine the content.
Oh, Jesus.
Imagine that. That could be okay. Could be quite good, wouldn't it? Like a review of every time you got a platinum. You go back and you review the platinum and what you thought about it, and if it was hard or. I mean, it could work if it was a specific trophy channel like I was running it. That probably could make sense, but I don't think it could work for me, and I think I don't really want to make 40 videos on something. I don't think I.
You'd love to do it if it was witchy. You'd love to make 40 videos on it.
I don't know if I could. I mean, I could obviously. At some point, I'd just be repeating content and just be a video where I upload it and just I say I love The Witcher for about 10 minutes in a row and then just end the video. I could just do that. You know, I could just have a picture of Geralt's face and then just saying I love The Witcher across the screen and just upload that 40 times. Could do. That's what people forget. This is my channel here. I can upload wherever I like, as long as it's within YouTube's community guidelines. And you know, don't kill me, YouTube. I am nice. I do nice things on YouTube. I don't do naughty things. I don't, you know, find dead bodies or eat rats or something. Whatever people do on YouTube for
what
views.
YouTuber eats rats?
I don't know. One of them's got to, haven't they? It's likely.
Yeah, probably one.
Everything's been done on YouTube at least once. So someone's eaten a rat or a dead body on YouTube at this point. I haven't quite got there yet. I was thinking maybe I might eat a cow, but I don't think that'd be as entertaining. I don't know. What animal would you choose to eat for views?
I'd happily eat some KFC.
That's so kind of like, you know, predictable, isn't it?
What weird animal would I want to eat?
I think I'd have to. I think I'd pick something endangered because that'd get more views. Maybe if there was
Wow.
one last platypus left, I'd like munch down on his beak or something. I don't know.
That's messed up.
Well, I'm not saying I would do these things, but I'm just thinking, what would someone who was trying to, be one of these YouTubers to do something horrific to get views would do? You know, I think, I don't know. I'd eat a horse so I could make a bunch of puns about how I was so hungry I ate a horse.
Oh boy.
And I keep stopping halfway the horse and go, I was so hungry I said I could eat a horse, and now I am. And then everyone would hate it, but also find it intriguing.
And what you could do while you're chowing down on it, I could enter the room and be like, Ben, why the long face?
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. I think I might cut the horse's penis off and stick it through my flies and then pretend I have a massive horse cock. Which I already have, but...
Isabel would be upset. Like, she'd be like, why is he not like that, really?
Yeah, but I could have a twist and I could edit it and make it look like my real one. I don't know. We've gone from eating cows to eating endangered animals to eating a horse with puns and then revealing my penis on camera. All coming up this week on Winging It. You can't deny that it would be entertaining content, but I'm pretty sure we'd get banned, probably.
Yeah, you'd be the one that'd start a whole new YouTube trend.
Of revealing your penis and eating dead horses. It's got to be better than some of them beauty community videos that you see of fucking people bitching about one another and putting on makeup the whole time. Christ. Oh, we're attacking YouTube now. Isn't this great YouTube banter, this, isn't it? That's all YouTube is.
This is amazing.
It's like people picking holes in one another, to be honest. But there are some people out there who take the YouTube thing way too seriously. And as far as I'm aware, those people can take a big horse cock in the mouth and shut up. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it for this week's podcast, and a slightly odd end tangent there. But if you are interested in me eating a horse and Alex coming in and we make a bunch of puns about eating a horse, then yeah, you do that. And actually, no, I just thought of another pun. I can't do that, can I? No, I don't know if I can put that pun in. I mean, that'd be bad. I mean, I was gonna say, what if I make a horse video, but then it did so well that I have to make another horse video, and I could call it Back in the Saddle, couldn't I? Oh, Isabel's gonna hate this section. Can you think of any more horse puns before we go?
I'm not even gonna I'm not even gonna go down the rabbit hole. I'm gonna rise above it.
Yeah, you're gonna rise above it. Fair enough.
I'm not blowing myself to your level.
He says this, but he is sitting there thinking about if he can just sneak one in somewhere. I'm thinking about it too. I'm thinking about hooves and how can I get a hoof in there. But I can't think of any other parts of a horse or anything about horses. But anyway, Alex, I think it's time that we went off down the bridle way and to the end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Get it? Another one?
We
Brilliant, isn't it?
So well planned and so intellectual now it's talking about horses.
I know, but it's... I just like the puns. I find they're stupid, but I like them. It makes me laugh. I can't think of any more, though. I'm pretty sure I can't now. We've got the main ones out. You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. I was just listening to you rambling.
Did you get that pun that I said?
What pun? I think I kind of just zoned out. What pun?
No, I said we've got all the main ones out. Alright, okay. I think we've ridden this horse long enough.
I hope Isabel leaves you.
Oh, come on now. There's no need for that. Right, anyway, well, let's stop beating a horse now and get to the end of the podcast. So, thank you all. Thank you all for listening to this. Why you listen to it, we don't know, but you do. So, we appreciate it. And yes, did you like this podcast, Alex?
It started out all right, and then once you got onto horses, it kind of, you know.
So would you say it went from yay to
nay? It was like you in bed, all build up to a disappointing climax.
As long as I enjoyed it, that's all that matters, isn't it?
Well, wouldn't it be nice for the other person, to enjoy it as well?
You can't have everything in life, can you? You got to sacrifice.
True.
So from you, and I think you didn't hear this pun that I did a minute ago, but everyone else did. So in terms of this podcast, would you give it a yay or a nay?
Let's just end it. Let's just end this.
What, our lives?
Let's just end it.
Yeah, I'm only minutes away from googling horse puns at this point, so I mean, it could be.
End it. Maybe that'll be the opener for the next podcast. You just bring a list of horse puns.
Oh, horse pun special. That could be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
On the Spotcast number 11, horse pun special. Hey, are you prepared to do that though? Because I'll make a note of this now, so I will turn up next week with puns aplenty.
Yeah, okay, I'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'll be,
I will turn up. I will turn up with a stable full of puns, or a horse stable full of puns about horses.
Well, let's do it then. I'm gonna be waiting for it when you say we're doing the next podcast. I'm gonna be like, it's horse puns.
It's all about horses this week's podcast. For no reason whatsoever. I could do it about video game horses, and I could link it in, couldn't I? There we go. There's plenty of video game horses we can talk about. I don't even get into the camel puns that we're going to follow in the next week with. That could be even worse. And slightly sexual as well. So we're not going to get into that. And otherwise, we're going to say thank you for listening. And I hope you enjoyed this podcast. And hopefully it's provided some level of entertainment for you during this lockdown and corona situation. And yes, Ward, it is time. Did I say?
It is time.
It is time to say goodbye. And it's goodbye from me.
And it is goodbye from me.
Pull back and reveal that time. Keeping it intriguing, yes? Yes, so now, anyway. Thank you for listening, and time to run that beautiful outro that I made, that I'm going to put on the end of every podcast. Whether you like it or not. So yeah.
And I don't.
What, you don't like it? I feel quite...
I'm indifferent to it. I was just saying that to annoy you.
Oh, okay. Anyway, goodbye.
Goodbye.
I have expected you. Greetings. Do you know why I live here? Yes. I have been pondering on exactly that question. All in good time. First, a question for you. Imagine but a whisper pushing aside all in its path. What will you burn? What will you spare? Yes. Few could resist such a challenge. You once told me you did not believe in destiny. Do you have no better reason for acting than destiny? Are you nothing but a plaything of fate? Yes. Do not be afraid. Fulfill your destiny. Few could resist such a challenge. Why do you delay? What else would you seek? Go then. Fare thee well. Do not be afraid. Remember well. Power, you have it. But power is inert without action and choice.